Good evening. Tonight, we note a significant shift in perspective within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints, otherwise known as the Mormons, regarding a historically contentious issue: the priesthood and temple ban that once prohibited Black members from full participation. Recent surveys indicate that 36% of Latter day Saints now believe that the ban was uninspired and primarily a product of racism. This growing consensus contrasts sharply with earlier church teachings and public statements. The change in perception among Latter day Saints highlights an evolving understanding of a policy that has long been a source of pain and controversy. For over a century, Black men were denied the priesthood, and Black women and men were barred from temple ordinances, a policy that was lifted in 1978. Historically, church leaders offered various explanations for the ban, including discredited theories about premortal valiancy and the curse of Cain. And it wasn't until 2013 when the church, for the very first time, stated that past doctrines around the ban had been disavowed as racist theories that were false. However, some church authorities maintain that the ban itself, despite its deeply problematic rationales, was divinely instituted. Elder Dallin H. Oaks, a member of the First Presidency, has stated,
I observed the pain and frustration experienced by those who suffered these restrictions and those who criticized the restrictions and sought for reasons. I studied the reasons then being given and could not feel confirmation of the truth of any of them. As part of my prayerful study, I learned that in general, the Lord rarely gives reasons for the commandments and directions he gives to his servants.
this is the official voice of the church, still defending and supporting the ban itself as having been a directive from God, regardless of the flawed human explanations that accompanied it. Elder Oaks' position underscores the delicate balance within the church's leadership. While disavowing the racist justifications once offered for the ban, some leaders still uphold the notion that it was a divinely mandated directive, and no leaders have suggested the ban, too, was a racist false doctrine. This stance complicates the broader narrative among some members and many historians and scholars who view the ban as fundamentally racist. Historians and scholars both within and outside the church increasingly support the view that the ban was not of divine origin. W. Paul Reeve, for instance, a prominent Latter day Saint historian and author of, quote, Let's Talk About Race and Priesthood, unquote, asserts that the prohibition originated with Brigham Young and was not a continuation of the teachings of church founder Joseph Smith, who ordained Black men to the priesthood. Reeve and others point out that this shift towards acknowledging the ban's racist roots aligns with a broader trend of reevaluating and confronting past prejudices. For many, this reevaluation is crucial for healing and progression as a faith community. There's speculation that the church's current approach to this sensitive issue may be aimed at preserving its image among the faithful and avoiding a formal apology, which raises questions about the prophetic mantle of its leaders. By framing the ban as a misunderstood directive rather than a mistake, the church may be seeking to justify rather than apologize for its past actions. The legacy of the priesthood and temple ban continues to influence the church's relationship with race. While the 1978 revelation opened the doors for full participation by members of African descent, the journey towards reconciliation and understanding is still ongoing. The increasing acknowledgement among members that the ban was racially motivated marks a significant step in that journey, reflecting a broader commitment on the part of the LDS Church and its members, though slow as it is, to addressing and learning from its past. As the dialogue within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints continues to evolve, it remains to be seen how this growing awareness will shape the church's future perspective on race. But it seems apparent to me, at least, that the LDS Church can never really distance itself from its past racism until it's willing to be vulnerable enough and accountable enough to say it's sorry and no longer defend any morsel of its past racism. For now, it represents a moment of introspection and perhaps a cautious move towards greater inclusivity and understanding. Back to you, Rebecca.